it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your up, not mine.
Feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot.
Floyd Mayweather shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, saying that Davis is making his own choices and taking a big risk with this matchup. Mayweather explained that he has offered advice in the past, but if it's not followed, it's no longer his responsibility. Still, he acknowledged that the fight is good for boxing overall, brings major financial attention to the sport, and confirmed that he'll definitely be tuning in to watch.
Within my company, within my team, do it my way. Because if you mess up, I don't mind being a janitor to clean up the mess because I told you to do it a certain way. But if I tell you to do it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your up, not mine.
The boxing world is in an uproar over the upcoming fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Fans and experts are split. Some say the matchup is nothing more than a publicity stunt, while others see it as a smart move for Tank to reach a wider audience. As debates grow louder, insiders from across the sport are weighing in, with some supporting Davis's decision and others questioning whether boxing is losing its true spirit.
And number 3, to retire.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2, not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur, that he ain't gonna do him no favors, that he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean? That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean? You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean? You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game. But you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean? But if you feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is.
Trainer Greg Hackett voiced his frustration over the criticism Gervonta Davis has faced for agreeing to fight Jake Paul. He argued that fans today are quick to judge fighters without understanding what's happening in their personal lives or what drives their decisions. Hackett said that if Davis wants to take this fight, people should respect his choice. He reminded everyone that no one outside the ring truly knows the pressures and sacrifices fighters deal with. According to Hackett, fans should focus more on appreciating the hard work and dedication it takes to stay at the top, rather than constantly criticizing. His comments reflect a growing concern among trainers and athletes about how social media has turned boxing opinions into non-stop negativity.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money coming in, so they trying to come up with bright ideas. At the same time, you got a lot of people trying to get from you.
A heated debate has erupted around sports analyst Max Kellerman after his recent remarks about Gervonta Davis sparked backlash across the boxing community. Many experts accused Kellerman of showing bias, claiming he unfairly downplayed Tank's accomplishments. In several appearances, Kellerman argued that Davis had never been a legitimate champion in his division and hadn't achieved anything truly remarkable. His comments drew sharp criticism from other analysts, who pointed out that Davis's knockout record and success across multiple fights prove otherwise. Critics say Kellerman's attitude reflects a larger issue in boxing media, where younger stars are often undervalued, and flashy storylines take priority over genuine skill and achievement. The controversy underscores how media perception continues to shape public opinion in the sport.
Max Kellerman is full of nonsense. Max Kellerman claims that Gervonta Davis was never a champion, that we've never been a period of time when we looked at Gervonta Davis and said Gervonta Davis is the man in that weight class. bunch of other ridiculousness pouring out of the pie hole of Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is one of the most biased, bought and paid for journalists that there is in the sport of boxing, and to have him back talking again on and giving his opinion again about the sport of boxing, I promise you, is not a good thing. But let's analyze what he had to say about Gervonta. That Gervonta was not ever a champion. That is ridiculous, because Gervonta Davis was a champion for the IBF at 130. He was a WBA super champion at 130. He is currently the reigning WBA champion at 135, and there is no other champion in the division for the WBA at the moment. He is the only WBA champion that there is at 135. He had a portion of a secondary. The title at the time he won it at 140 was a secondary title. So if you do not want to count that, I don't know why you wouldn't, seeing as everybody else counts that belt. But okay, fine. He's a 2-division world champion. That is more than zero, Max Kellerman. Now, looking at the idea that Gervonta Davis has never been the man in that division is absolutely ridiculous, because Gervonta Davis has really been the man in that division the entire time that he's there.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi didn't hold back when discussing the upcoming fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He criticized the matchup, saying it damages the integrity of boxing. In his view, knockouts only mean something when they come from fair, evenly matched contests, not from manufactured events built for publicity. Speaking with fellow analyst Chris Algieri, Malignaggi explained that while casual fans may enjoy the show, real boxing followers can see that it's more spectacle than sport. He argued that letting social media stars compete alongside elite fighters blurs the line between true boxing and entertainment. His remarks highlight a growing divide in the sport, between those who value tradition and those chasing viral moments.
Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately can get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way Wayne did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way that when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was, to a degree, manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this,
with the expense
of
Witherspoon.
That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out.
In contrast to critics like Paulie Malignaggi, boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult offered a much more positive outlook after watching the press conference between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He admitted that at first, he was worried about the size gap and thought Jake might simply be too big and powerful. However, after seeing Davis in person, his opinion shifted completely. Showbiz said Tank looked calm, focused, and in full control, like a seasoned professional who knows exactly what he's walking into. His composure and confidence convinced Showbiz that Davis has what it takes to handle the challenge. He believes many fans are underestimating Tank's skills and intelligence in the ring, and that his sharp timing and technique could neutralize Jake's size advantage and ultimately decide the fight.
Listen, I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap. I know Tank wasn't saying much, fumbling over his words, seems bashful, but I'm looking, right? And I'm just like, bro, he doesn't feel that Jake Paul is an issue. Even though he said it, he doesn't feel like he has to whoop his ass. He doesn't feel threatened. That's the word. He doesn't feel threatened, but he does feel out of his element. I'm gonna be honest, man. It sounds like, I know everybody's looking at this press conference and it's like, number one, I know what y'all saying. It's a clown show. It's not real. Tank was paid off. It's fake. Cause Tank, when he was talking about Jake and JB, even I was like, what is he talking about?
He laughing.
What are you talking about? What does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. No, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you and him.
So that I could understand if that's your concern. I am being extremely truthful with how I feel about this and how I'm reacting to this. My oldest son was like, I see the same thing, Dad, but you're going to get a weird response.